Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I want to go over the Bitcoin proxies. I'm going to go over Bitcoin, but a couple Bitcoin proxies, which will be GBTC and MicroStrategy on longer time frames on the monthly charts. Let you know what I possibly think is going to be going on here, probably into 2024, which I think is going to be good. Now, the other thing is oh, by the way, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, be really, really appreciated. Another thing is too, guys, you have to realize is that for those that don't know, usually on the most bearish times, most negative sentiment, that is when bullish trends are born, okay, on disbelief and doubt. And we could be in that situation right now, guys. Now, obviously, there is, you want to take precautions, along the way. But as I mentioned previously in videos, I do mention a little bit more on Twitter. I think it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride to be getting out of here, okay, in my opinion, maybe even through the rest of the year. So if you've been following my channel since, let's say, June of 22 and then going into November, and you been placing your bets into some coins, at that time, like Gala or whatever coin you like to get into, even Hex coin that's gone up, I think 5x since its bottom or something like that. You're in a really, really good position. You're in a really good position because you have obviously gained a lot of capital. Now think of the other people that are not positioned, like these 10K Bitcoiners or whoever, these bearish people are waiting to get an entry in. They're in a bad position because just say, for example, with all the media narrative, everything going down there, could it turn around? Possibly it could. It could. And you could lose quite a bit of money. And let's say, for example, it still goes up. Well, with this bumpy ride and all this confusion in the markets are confused right now, guys. It's going to be very, very difficult to find those entries in unless you're really pretty sharp at it and finding pretty decent pullbacks to find those entries, okay? So those that haven't entered in at the bottom, the local bottom at a minimum in the cryptocurrency market are really, really in a precarious situation because there very well could be a shot that Bitcoin is going up into some massive ABC and then come back down and correct. So that's why I think it's, pretty important to pay attention to the markets and also other charts too to get an idea. So here's the deal. I got GBTC on my screen, guys, and I've changed it around a little bit. I went over this quite often before to just get an idea what Bitcoin is doing. If GBTC is going up into a bullish trend, then obviously Bitcoin is too, because the only thing they have in their they hold as an asset is Bitcoin, right? Just based off this pattern and everything that's going on here in GBTC, guys, I said it before a long time ago that you have a good shot. Matter of fact, I made a video back in I think probably July or August timeframe, and just looking at this, I said, there's a good shot that it could be going up to make this move. And sometime in the future, when that will be, I didn't know. The Fed will pause. It'll finish that off. And then this will be the pivot and it'll dump. But this is a legitimate pattern. You take the monthly chart. I got as close as I could get it right there. I even have it out a little bit farther. But you can see in this monthly chart right there, it's beyond that trend. So whatever it's doing, it's onto something new. This is a massive correction for GBTC since February 21, and it finished in this area of December of 22. So almost 2 years, okay? So this chart is telling me that possibly there may be some change going here in the next couple, 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months with maybe the Fed or something like that. Maybe they're going to pause, and then it'll finish off that wave sequence, guys. The Stoke in the RSI, kind of saying the same thing. If you go down here and check this out down here, it's kind of saying the same thing, guys. The box that I have is if it's bearish, it should still get up probably to that box. I would suspect this trend is going to correct this whole sequence here and probably get up into the 50% to 618 target. So still see upside for that, guys, and be doing that move right there. That could be the same thing for the S&P 500, going up into a wave, possibly going into the fall of 2023 and then doing another correction. That could happen, or it could go right up to there into 2024. Okay. So I'm going to use another example. So here's Bitcoin on 3-month chart. I went over this in my previous video. You can watch that a little more in depth, but all the signals on this 3-month chart for Bitcoin, it just seems like, I could be wrong about this, guys, but it seems like it's going to probably do something like, like that. And then you have like a trend or something. You put the trend kind of like, so you have a trend sort of kind of like that, hit that trend right there, and boom, it's getting up into that area. Maybe not that high, but it just, based off this data down there, it just seems like that's going to be going on with it. So I could be wrong about that one, guys. I'm just speculating a little bit. Here's a MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy right here. This is a massive third wave, the wave with the most momentum in the history of MicroStrategy. So some sort of third wave peak, okay? And then in some like this pattern, this triangle pattern that it has, and this massive wave 1, and then a long drawn out wave 2. Finally bought some Bitcoin over here. So now his micro MSTR is very, very volatile and blasting up into that wave right there on that third wave and correcting it all the way down here. So based on this information, I'm using MicroStrategy, guys, is if MicroStrategy did finish its correction right there, okay, and it very well could have, it did come down in a 5-wave move. Let me clean this up a little bit for you. It did come up down into a 5-wave move, and it did a 3-wave swing. Let me put this on line chart so you can see a little bit better. Okay, you can see right here. So this was 3, 3, and then down in a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, down to this area and just missed, came right down into my target box and has a reaction out of there. And in my opinion, it's probably could be in a second wave correction. Could it bounce back up and come back down a little bit more? It could, but the target, so I was conservative with it on these targets. Now I'm going to suspect the MicroStrategy, because as Bitcoin is portfolio, is going to hit logarithmic numbers over here and not linear, even though you want to check both. I have them both in the list. But anyhow, come back down here and just say I had a target, like say 175, it's going to double correct and come back down. So if it is wave 1, 2, this would be the third wave, and this would be then the 5th wave, probably going into 2024, just beyond these target areas, guys, which makes sense to me with MicroStrategy and being able to do that move. So you go back over here with GBTC coming back and doing probably the similar type of move over here going into 2024. And then you go back over here, BLX, or the long-term Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin. Same thing right here, guys. Same thing right here. Boom, in that area. So it all makes sense to me. I know the news is suggesting for most people otherwise. They're waiting for validation from the news and the media. And the markets are like 6 to 9 months ahead. And the signals on long-term timeframes between GBTC, MicroStrategy, and Bitcoin on these charts and all the data that I'm looking at is that there's a good shot that this is going to be going on. Like I said, it's going to be a seriously bumpy ride because everything's going on in traditional financial markets with interest rates. Bonds are going crazy right now. The 2 years, the 10-year notes dropping like a rock once again. And what's going on with the Dow, the Russell, the S&P 500, and those indices over there, guys. So I think it's just going to be a bumpy ride for 2023, probably 2023, and then eventually just finishes off in 2024, guys, or something like that right here. Okay. And this is a legitimate pattern that it can do right here. So maybe a might call it a megafoam type pattern or something like that, but a diagonal type pattern that'll do. So worst case scenario, in my opinion, up to there, correct. MicroStrategy could do the same thing, maybe just go up to here and then do a correct. That would be the bearish sequence. To me, with this wave sequence, it needs to correct this up to about 50% or 618. Bitcoin would have to probably do the same thing. So $40,000 target, get back up there, maybe higher, and then correct back down. Otherwise, between this trend and this trend with that hidden bull div, that's hidden bullish divergence, it's telling you that this trend is a continuation trend on the long-term timeframes. And down here too, you can see that. I made previous videos about that you have the same thing down there. Trend continuation over in this area possibly, guys. So if you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.